Hi Gemini, your October/eclipse season 2023 reading. Do you remember that situation that you've been healing from? Star card at the bottom of the deck with the painful Three of Swords, the healing journey that you've been on, and the Six of Swords. For some, this was like this time last year when the heartbreak or the betrayal or the disappointment occurred. And for others, I'm feeling like it was more the beginning of this year, January, February. And it doesn't have to have involved another air sign, a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, but I think for a lot of you it did. Well, all of that healing that you have been doing around that painful process, or the painful process of healing rather, has actually opened the opportunities that have been coming your way this month, right? So I feel like from late September, maybe around the 24th of September when the sun moved into Libra, depending when you're watching this, I see the Ace of Wands in a past energy. And it's like that spark has been ignited in you again. And with that, it has brought about a whole new lease of life. Some of you are only recovering now from what happened a year ago. For some, like I said, it was at the start of this year, but it's been a journey towards getting here. And I think along the way, you have really noticed that your faith has been restored, and it's come about in ways that I believe it's been like a helping hand. Sometimes you may feel even like it's been a hand from the universe or source, or there has been just a lift up from your highest self to you, directly to you. And I believe that lately, maybe it's late September, first week of October, whenever you see this reading, my intention is just for this to reflect the past, the recent past. The Ace of Wands is an opportunity, another opportunity, and it's been it's almost like it's been another hand to you, another hand from a source, just kind of like encouraging you to go for this, to do it. This talks about that reignited sense of purpose and that lease of life, sure, but I feel like you've been having all of these creative downloads recently, all of these bright ideas. Even if you think that these ideas are mundane, and yeah, this isn't only going to be about some major healing journey you've been on, the Seven of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles are also coming through to tell me that there are just some mundane decisions to be made in the month of October. Important ones though, things to do with your finances, where you're investing your time and your energy and your resources, and how much you actually have. And the Ace of Wands, it could be something that's mundane. It's like you have this download of like, okay, I have to do this. This is on my to-do list. Like you're just being a little bit more energized, and you're feeling more energized, and we're going to pull more cards and clear up what that may be. But it's a brand new lease of life for you, and new ideas coming your way. The Seven of Pentacles, as we're in the month of August, or October rather, correction. As we're in the month of October, which is the eclipse season portal, we have one eclipse on the 14th. This could come up a little bit before the 14th. It could be thereabouts, but again, let's not get too bogged down on the timing of things. This is at some point in October. The Seven of Pentacles has you thinking that something isn't going to work out for you. I will clear up these cards with more, and we'll look at the spread together in just a moment. But the Seven of Pentacles has you questioning, did I make the right decision? Like, should I have put that money towards that investment? Should I have spent on that? Should I have invested my time here? Is this ever going to work out? You maybe have been working hard at a project or a goal and not really seeing the results yet at that stage. So you're in this kind of awkward in between. Maybe you feel like you're at some sort of a threshold and you wonder if you're ever going to break through. The Seven of Pentacles comes then with the kind of emotion of feeling uneasy and starting to sort of be concerned that you may be dealing with some losses here. Not necessarily financially, but just like a loss again of motivation, or a loss of a sense of direction. As you get to the end of the month though, the Two of Pentacles sees you finding much more balance, because you're managing the ups and the downs, the losses and the gains. You are realizing that the gains that you're making throughout the month of October, particularly around the end, I think around that lunar eclipse in Taurus on the 28th of October. You're managing the ups and the downs, the ebb and the flow. You've been winning some. You may have been losing some here or there as well, but it doesn't really seem to be phasing you because you're kind of more in the swing of life now, and you're kind of in a really beautiful flow state. The eclipse that's closing out the cycle of the past year and a half series of eclipses in the Scorpio Taurus axis, typically they can bring about some sense of a reward or a kind of bigger turning point and opening a door to what lays ahead and what's next on that storyline for you. We're going to look at these cards together now. We're going to pull some more. I just want to grab an archetype card for you, Gemini. So this is the archetype you've been embodying lately. This has been the archetype you've been working with, that your soul has chosen to explore at this time in your life. And I think these archetypes, they tend to run a little further than just, a month, like the month of October. This can be something that you've been working with for a little bit now. Drop an extended version of this reading in the description box below, where we go even deeper into the spread, and then I also pull for specifically for love and spiritual purpose and also wealth, resources and career. The One. I don't think I've ever pulled this card before. So we've got the archetype, the One. All right. That could be the Ace of Wands. So that Ace of Wands, this opportunity, let's call it, has appeared to you, right? And it's like, for some of you, you really find that this is something you've been waiting for, something really significant at the end of September, beginning of October. The One, non-duality. So not exactly like you, Gemini. One love, unus mundus. Our ability to experience this archetype firsthand is limited. It comes in brief and potent moments that we are left to savor for a lifetime. The One is both the energy that unites all living beings and our capacity to sense this intimate union. This archetype eludes us most of our lives, appearing as a concept in a distant galaxy. Yet when we are in the midst of its power, a solemn reverence falls across the land. We glimpse ourselves in the vastness of all consciousness and are neither small nor large within the field. We are neither important or unimportant. All duality fades away and we are left with what is, the precious knowing that life is a gift and we are both the giver of and the receiver of this fortune. So maybe, Gemini, you have been noticing lately that when you're really embodying this archetype on a very soul level, you are in service, you are loving, you're accepting, everything just resonates with you. And in the shadow, you might ignore, omit, and exclude. So, potency. It says brief and potent moments. The Ace of Wands, of all the cards in the tarot deck, I would associate with the word potent or potency. It's flash, it's spark, it's that lightning, a matchstick acceleration from unlit to lit, that velocity and that speed, and how sometimes these ideas and downloads just seem to come from absolutely nowhere, but you really just wish you could bottle them up. Let's start pulling more cards. Let's look at this spread together. I think it's fair to say that we're all recovering from something. So let's pull a card here to clarify what this situation, I believe from the past, very significant, might have been about. There we have you at the bottom of the deck, the Lover's card. Yes, of course, the mind will automatically jump to a relationship that turned sour with the ink black stained heart here. And the divine connection here at the bottom of the deck, which might just seem further and further away. So some are recovering from heartbreak. You know, that heartache is some of the most difficult tests and testing experiences we can have here in this incarnation. Some of you are moving on and healing from physical fatigue, something chronic potentially, something that, you know, you really have had to battle with. 9 of Wands, given your all, persevered with day in, day out. If it wasn't physical, that 9 of Wands speaks to perseverance, and I get the feeling that you have been like rigorously not giving up on your recovery. Let's look at the Ace of Wands now and have a look at what kind of downloads, new opportunities, and kind of exciting and potent downloads and occurrences have been happening at the end of September, beginning of October. Again, what's been going on in the past energy, like this card, for you recently, depending when you're watching this. 4 of Wands, 9 of Cups. Really optimistic energy here with these cards. The 4 of Wands and 9 of Cups speaks to a really happy domestic life, a really secure and celebrated chosen career. The company you're working for, you could recently have been offered a promotion or noticed here. The Ace of Wands is being, I guess, like spotted basically at your company, the 4 of Wands, and you're being presented now, or there's greater visibility around you. The 9 of Cups represents a great deal of emotional satisfaction here too. And because this person has basically set the table and put their nice dress on, I get the impression that some of you are hosting, and you have been hosting at your place, you have been celebrating at your own home. Some of you might be moving home or getting the opportunity to like expand, renovate, or make things look even better there. Some of you have gotten approval on some sort of a living situation that could look like the keys to move in or signing some papers here. But for lots of you, I do see this as the promotion that you've been searching for, the career advancement, the step up the ladder, and feeling like incredibly satisfied overall. It seems like there have been celebrations towards the end of September and the beginning of October where people are coming together and everybody, there's like an enormous sense of well-being for everybody around you. Like this garland here suggests some sort of a homecoming even, and not only in the literal sense, but a homecoming in terms of like, it could be a literal sense, no doubt, but homecoming in terms was just like, I feel at peace where I am. I feel like I belong here. I'm with good people. I feel celebrated. I feel like I've found like a soul tribe. And you're just having all of these opportunities to make your current positive situation, 4 of Wands, stable. Think 4 legs of a table, concrete. The 4 speak to stability. And the 9 of Cups, you're like, whoa, this is what it feels like to just be filled all the way up, like to feel so happy, to feel so satisfied. Okay, that's a great way to begin the month. So looking at the 7 of Pentacles now. We have that 9 of Wands again at the bottom of the deck. The 6 of Swords and the 3 of Swords, exactly, with the Star and the Lovers. So it's interesting that the healing journey you have been on since even this time last year or the beginning of the year, some of you may have met a very significant person this time last year, or even met a really significant person at the beginning of this year. And you know, you guys have come such a long way, or it has been integral to your healing process. And, you know, it might not necessarily be heartbreak around a romantic situation or a friend or somebody you trusted in your life and they've let you down, somebody who you thought was basically family and things like that. But for some of you, a relationship has actually been a real aid and support and guiding light for you through this kind of passage of time from heartbreak. But it's interesting that that came up at the bottom of the deck, and it's kind of playing out here again. So there must have been a reason why that was called to my attention, because something about that, not that, you know, you should be thinking, oh my gosh, is this going to happen again? Is this repeating? I really don't think that's what that's necessarily saying. What I think is, it's saying, because the Seven of Pentacles is about progress and impatience sometimes with the progress that we appear to be making, where we don't understand consciously that, you know, we're actually making the progress that our soul is ready to be making. That's the person, the soul is steering the ship here. And I know that the ego may say, well, I want to be over this, I just want to be past this, I want to forget it. Well, all in good time, no doubt you will, but there is a reason why you're kind of making progress at the pace you're going at right now. The Seven of Pentacles can speak to the kind of frustration then that comes, like, look, this person is like, this plant isn't doing well. I've been tending to it. I've been doing all the right things. I've been eating healthy. I've been meditating. I've been outside. I have been creating healthy habits. And why am I still not, quote unquote, healed, right? And the Six of Swords is just coming back to remind you mid-month that look how far you've already come already. Look at the progress you've made. This Six of Swords has actually moved on so much from this tumultuous, choppy water, and we don't even have a ripple here where you're headed to. So you have to go through a little bit more, I think that's what that shows, before you get to completely placid, still kind of emotional inner sense of inner being. But you've already come so far. And I think that the Four of Wands and Nine of Cups has been your recent reward. Like, life has been good, life has been fun, you have been celebrated, you've been social, you've been out there, and it's just kind of like giving you, I think the Star card here is like a renewed sense of confidence that you are still healing, and it is a process. And look, the Seven of Pentacles could be you feeling the loss still, and there's no shame in that. The Three of Swords is the sort of pain that you're still dealing with. These wounds are perhaps not fully healed, and you'll know that. And a good litmus test for whether they're healed or not, or you know, I think we're always healing, aren't we? And the Three of Swords could be a good litmus test. Kind of, these are triggers, right? So you'll know if something triggers you in the same way, or if you can hear this person's name or see them with somebody else, and you'll perhaps know how far you've come in terms of the healing journey. If it's not romantic, you know, it could be the same about anything. You know, you'll watch a movie that reminds you of the situation, or you'll see something play out in real life, or something will be said and it reminds you of your wound and it triggers it. But this time you feel like you're in a different space, and you feel like you've grown, and you feel a little bit more at peace with this whole situation. The Seven of Pentacles, be patient with yourself. When these triggers come up this month, it's really not to get you down. That's not the intention. I believe the intention is to actually show you how far you've come this month, Gemini. We do have an eclipse, 2 of them this week, or this month in fact. So I guess we're kind of on this journey in October collectively, where we are making our bi-yearly check-in, biannual check-in, because the eclipses come through every 6 months. And it's like, how are you doing? Are you on route to destiny? Or perhaps are you dwelling a little too far in the past? And, you know, the eclipses come through and say, let's get you up to speed. Let's have a check-in there. Sometimes the events that unfold in order to progress are internal, and they're very on the mental plane. Sometimes they are external. They're happening and we have to respond. So we haven't seen a major arcana card necessarily on the spread yet, although of course the Lovers and the Star card have been following us around a little bit. Some of you are in an amazing union right now, really, really healing, and I love to see that. And it's not the core focus of the reading either, which is good, telling me that the relationship seems to be really balanced. I will go deeper into the relationship reading in the extended, and I will look at these situations all a little deeper and pull another archetype card in the extended. But for now, let's look at the Two of Pentacles. I feel like towards the end of the month you're recuperating even more. You feel like some of this is a bit of a loss to you still. You're like, I thought I was done here, and now you're like, okay, no, that's okay, that's part of me, the down, but look what else is happening, what's on the up and up for you, and perhaps what do you have to make some choices around this month. I guess financially, the idea here is, and I don't know if this necessarily would be something you would do, but the Seven of Pentacles tells me, like, be cautious, don't be afraid, be cautious about investing from a place of pain. That's all I would say there. We have the Hermit, a first major, and the Knight of Wands. Okay, so that's nice. So I mean, you've got a bit of a mixed bag at the end of the month. And I feel like that's the mix of the Two of Pentacles, right? Some things are up, you're kind of in two minds about things. You're in two minds about whether you are kind of going into your hermit mode here, or whether you are going into the duality of your nature, the extroverted, out and about hustler, kind of like, yeah, the sort of like, let's say, is it a party animal? Is it a comic? Is it an entertainer side of yourself? Or is it the side of yourself who's seeking kind of a more esoteric knowledge or spiritual wisdom or meaning? The one card, you know, it does talk about non-duality, and maybe you can be both. And that's, you know, we hear, you know, Gemini being the most dual sign, perhaps after that would be Pisces, but Gemini really does speak to duality, and the one card speaks to non-duality. That to me tells me that you have an opportunity this month, Gemini, which you always do, of course, to really blend all facets of yourself. And it's fine to keep them separate, of course, why not? But this month, for some reason, you're being encouraged to merge, and, you know, you can do everything. The Two of Pentacles says, why not both? Why should I have to choose between one or the other? Why do I have to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out? I can be this sort of wise sage, like wise elder, who's well spoken on things, who understands on a deeper level, who doesn't even need to consult the internet for answers, or who doesn't even need to consult certain gurus or alleged kind of preachers or wise sages that you look up to. All of that wisdom is found within. I think that's what the star here is pointing to. Quite often we see the Hermit with a lantern, and there's a star. I actually believe it's the star found within the star card that's been stalking us. Not a bad card to have following us around, though, I would say that. And I think that that's saying that, you know, oftentimes it will be like, what's the star looking at? Or what's the Hermit's lantern pointing at? Well, in this case, it's on the center of your chest. So it's within. The answers can be found within. And then why not? You know, there's the same star, right? In the star card in this little wise hermit's chest. It's like a kind of pendant there. So then why not also express all that outward? The Knight of Wands is really outgoing, extroverted, and motivated. They're both facing towards your whole September and October in kind of reflection and saying, okay, are you going to act on any of this? Are you going to share your wisdom? Are you going to hoard it? I think there's no point in hoarding your wisdom. Maybe it's time to speak out on something. Maybe it's time to speak the truth about something. You definitely have the wisdom. You definitely have the knowledge. It's very ancient wisdom that resides within you anyway already. And the Knight of Wands tells me that you're being encouraged to actually take some action on this, not just talk, but actually do something about it. The same ace here that is presented, the first card out in this reading, it's time to do something about this Ace of Wands, right? You've been offered opportunities, even if they're coming through in just you for yourself when you're sitting down somewhere and you get this idea, that's still an opportunity being offered to you, because imagination is opportunity, or downloads, or creative spark or flashes of genius. That's all opportunity coming your way. It's all creative vision. And now the Knight of Wands is like, let's take this wand, right? It's the same one. It has all this growth in it, and let's bring it towards some sort of a goal. Like, let's actually do something about it now. The eclipse season, like, it is a really good time to be brave and to be bold. Sometimes the eclipse energy can feel like it's sweeping sweeping us up, or like kind of pick, or what's that expression, like eating us up and chewing and spitting us out in a sense. I'd say the Knight of Wands is like, nope, like just go go hell for leather and go just at the same kind of like, I'm talking about the velocity here of the Ace of Wands, like just kind of meet those eclipses, you know, with the same amount of force. I don't usually say that, but that's what's coming through for me at the moment. We're going to get into this a little deeper and more in the extended, but if you're just sticking around for this, thank you so much for your time and energy. Gemini, I really appreciate that. I would also so appreciate if you would subscribe, of course, like, comment. I always love to read that. And it's been a minute, so great hanging out.